They call him a tyrant, a terrorist, a killer. They call him the mad dog of the Middle East. Who is it that I'm referring to? It's the current leader of Libya, Muammar al-Qaddafi, born in the Sirte Desert to a peasant family out of nothing on September 19... Oh, shoot. Okay. Starting over. They call him a terrorist, a tyrant, a man drunk with power, a killer, the mad dog of the Middle East, and he's all that and more. Who is this man that I'm referring to? Muammar al-Qaddafi, the current leader of Libya. Born in the Sirte Desert to a peasant family in 1949, Qaddafi during his teenage years and early 20s participated in several demonstrations that were anti-Israeli, anti-Western. September of 1969, Qaddafi led a group of junior military officers to overthrow the current leader, King Idris. September of 1969, he did just that and announced that he was the new leader of Libya. Now keep in mind, this man wasn't elected. He didn't inherit the office. He simply declared and announced that he would be the new leader of Libya. When Qaddafi took office in 1969, the University of Benghazi was thriving. It was a beautiful university with many students. However, now this university looks like a dumping site. It has been destroyed. Qaddafi does not want the people of Libya to be liberated. He does not want them to be educated, because if they're educated, then they would rebel against his regime. They would seek the rights that all humans want: freedom of speech, freedom of liberty, the freedom to elect a leader. He doesn't want his people to be educated, because then he himself will lose power and be overthrown. Qaddafi is a man drunk with power, and he's used this power to abuse the people of Libya and to order, participate, and fund in several terroristic acts that have hurt the people of the United States of America. April 5th, 1986, in Berlin at the La Belle Disco nightclub, which was a club frequented by U.S. soldiers. A bomb was placed near the dance floor that contained shrapnel and plastic. At approximately 1:40 a.m., this bomb went off, killing 3 innocent people, 1 being a Turkish woman and 2 being U.S. soldiers. The first soldier was James Ford. The first soldier was Kenneth Ford, a 21-year-old sergeant, and the second was James Goins, a 25-year-old sergeant. In addition to the 3 lives lost, 229 people were injured, many losing their hearing and are being injured by the debris from the bomb. Just 2 years later, on Pan Am Flight 103, leaving from London and headed to New York's JFK Airport, it was later discovered that a bomb had been smuggled on in a suitcase that contained This bomb exploded, killing all 243 passengers, 16 crew members, and 11 residents of the Lockerbie area. A total of 270 people were killed. One year later, A total of 270 people were killed. The man behind this actual crime, the actual Lockerbie bomber, was convicted in 1996, but has since been released from prison. Less than a year later, a bomb, again, was placed on flight UTA 772, headed from Paris, from Central Africa. The bomb exploded over the Sahara Desert, killing all passengers on board. A total of 170 people were killed. In 1996 in Libya, at the Abu Salem prison, there was a huge massacre. Prisoners were upset at the treatment they were receiving, the living conditions, and restricted family visits. Because of this, they seized one of the security guards, allowing other prisoners to escape. Once Qaddafi got word that the prisoners had escaped, he ordered the soldiers to kill them by all means necessary. Bombs were designated in the courtyard, killing many of the prisoners. For those that weren't killed by the grenades and bombs, they were shot down. By the end of the day, 1,200 men lay dead in the courtyard. Now, there's much speculation about what actually happened to these 1,200 men's bodies, but they were never returned to their family. The families were simply notified by letter that their loved one had been killed or that their loved one had died. No other information was ever provided. Now, there are speculations as to what happened to the bodies. Some say that large meat freezers were brought in, the bodies were placed there and later destroyed. Others say that ditches were dug and the bodies were placed there and later cemented over. But no closure was ever provided for these families. In 2008, Libya paid $1.5 billion into a fund for the victims of the Lockerbie bombing, the LaBelle Disco bombing, and UTA Flight 772, finally admitting that they were behind these attacks. Long before the attacks of 9/11 and the search for Osama bin Laden, long before the Twin Towers fell down, Qaddafi was killing innocent American people. For the last 41 years, Qaddafi has silenced the voice of the Libyan people. And it's time that these people be given their voice back. It's time that these people be allowed to select who they want to lead them into their future. He has misused his power. He has intimidated others to carry out acts of violence against the people of Libya and abroad. It is time that the United States of America send a clear message to Qaddafi that we will not forget, nor have we forgiven the crimes that he's committed against our people. He cannot buy us off. He cannot pay us off with his $1.8 billion. We are seeking justice for the lives that he has taken, and we will not forget nor forgive the innocent lives that were lost in the LaBelle Disco bombing, the Lockerbie bombing, the UTA Flight 772, or the Abu Salem prison massacre, just to name a few. It is time that his regiment and his crooked government be brought down and Muammar al-Qaddafi be brought to justice.